As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put a little bit on the rim of the plate because it looks good, which I normally don't do. I hate stuff on the rim, but that looks gorgeous. Well, I am going to do a dish with peas à la Française. Butter-poached halibut with peas à la Française and rhubarb vinaigrette. It's like spring on a plate, spring and beginning of summer on a plate. So I have the halibut here, pristine piece of halibut. Now halibut is a fish that is easily overcooked. It has no fat in it, very mild tasting fish. So I'm sure some of you know the technique or have heard of the technique butter-poached lobster that my good friend Thomas Keller popularized with butter-poached lobster. And I just find this is the best way to poach halibut because it cooks very, very slowly to a perfect temperature where you don't overcook the fish, because you overcook halibut and it will be very dry. Let's start with the peas à la Française. So what peas à la Française is? Onions and lettuce and peas. I have here some Bibb lettuce, also called Boston lettuce. You can use any lettuce, but I like the Bibb because it's so tender. And I'm gonna just roughly julienne. The recipe calls for 3 cups, but you need that. It may seem like a lot, but when you cook this, you'll see that it just 70% kind of shrinks out of it. Now peas, preferably you can use fresh, but however, frozen peas are one of those vegetables that even chefs use frozen. There are some vegetables that freeze very well, because what they do is they harvest them at the height of the sweetness and then they flash freeze them. Next is onion, and we're just going to thinly slice the onion. Voila. What I have in here is some melted butter. I'm going to add the onions to this and put it back on the stove. I'm going to sweat this now. The salt, I'm adding some salt. The salt will help draw out the moisture of the onion and would help it not. We don't want any color on onions. You want to cook these until they're translucent, about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add the peas that have been very quickly blanched, but they're not cooked all the way yet. So I want them to cook a little bit with the onions and bring some flavor out. A little more salt, make up that peas. Beautiful. We're going to add the lettuce now. Now, cooking the lettuce, I like to keep it a little less cooked than perhaps a classic recipe. To keep things a little brighter. You don't have to cook it to a mush, but you can. It still tastes good. So you can add some bacon to this if you like. You know, peas and bacon are a classic combination. Okay, I'm gonna give a taste here. I'm gonna add some pepper. You don't always add pepper to every dish. A lot of chefs will add pepper to salt and pepper to everything. It's not like that. Salt's very important because it brings out flavor, but I think the pepper will offset the sweetness of the peas a bit. Now again, I don't want any color. So if you see that it's starting to color, you turn the heat down, but you can also add just a little bit of water. It'll evaporate and then give me just the peas, the sweetness of the peas and the lettuce and the onions. Now I'm going to add some mint to this. Peas and mint are kind of a classic flavor combo. I'm about ready to take this off the heat, so I'm just tearing it. I don't want to like chop it up, and want to keep it as fresh as possible. And this, if you just tear it like basil, it keeps the integrity of the leaf itself and the flavor. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. There we go. Put that aside. We'll get the rhubarb going. Rhubarb vinaigrette. You could put all kinds of things in this rhubarb, but I'm going to keep this real simple because I just want this to accent and cut the richness of the peas à la Française, which is butter. Shallots and the rhubarb. Oh, and you don't have to worry about finely dicing or any particular shape, because this is going to cook together and then we're going to puree it. So we do need a little bit of butter for this. I'm just going to add this to a sauteuse. Ginger. You could add garlic if you want, but I'm not going to add garlic. Maybe dish doesn't need garlic, and actually I think chefs really overuse garlic. So just grate on a microplane. And we'll add a few mint leaves. We'll add some towards the end too because we keep it real fresh. We'll cook down with some mint and then we'll add a few when we puree it. So mint leaves. What else? We'll add some salt. We're going to sweat this until it's tender. Now, if you notice I didn't peel the rhubarb. Generally, rhubarb, especially the skin, is a little bit toxic if you eat a ton of it. But if you cook it, it's not a big deal. Plus, I want that redness as much as possible left in it because I don't want it to just be kind of a brown, murky vinaigrette, a sauce, which it can too. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick, is that beet juice. I'm going to add some beet juice to this. Why? If I didn't, when I make this vinaigrette, it comes out the color of Pepto-Bismol. And no matter what, that's the response people say, oh, it looks like Pepto-Bismol. Tastes great. It tastes much better than Pepto-Bismol. But, okay, so I wanted to kind of like make it more this of a natural rhubarb that you see on the stalk, the color. So I'm going to add some beet juice. Now, actually the beet juice, so it adds some earthiness to it. It actually complements the rhubarb. So it's really, I kind of just came upon this, right? And I really like the flavors together. So we're going to simmer that. Now, the juice. If you have a juicer and want to get the whole thing out and, get it all dirty and juice from beet juice, or a quicker way, more efficient way, grate it. And then just put it in a bullet or a blender with a little bit of water, and then strain it, and then you have some beet juice, okay? By the way, when you work with beets, wear gloves because they stain. Also, when I shred onto a piece of parchment paper because it'll stain your cutting board. Set this aside and let it cool off a little bit. Okay, let's make the beurre monté. Beurre fondue, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of water to my pot. All right, we're gonna bring the water to a boil. So you want the butter to be slightly chilled. This is sweet butter that's cut up into small pieces. Medium-high heat. And in the beginning, you whisk in a little. And then you can just continue to whisk in butter. Now what's great about this sauce is this is the starter. This is the starter. You can keep on adding another pound without even really adding much water to it. Now I can tell the temperature I want to be warm to the back of my finger, and it's a little hot, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm adding more butter to it right now, so it starts to cool off. So 2 tablespoons of water, half pound of butter. That's it. Then from here, this is going to poach our halibut nice and slow. You can add herbs, and whatever herbs you add to it, it's that sauce. You can add a puree of this, a puree of tomato, olives and garlic and basil, and make it a Provençal sauce. So, all right, so there is that. Now the halibut, beautiful. I'm just going to pour it over. And then we're going to put this into a 225-degree oven for 18 minutes. Let's just puree the rhubarb. I'm putting it into a bullet, or you can just blend it by hand, or I'm not going to worry about passing it through a chinois. In the restaurant, I pass it through a chinois. I can see I want a little more liquid in here to puree it. Maybe a little more beet juice. Oh, there we go. All right, let's make the vinaigrette. So this is the puree. And just I'm going to add olive oil. Touch of sherry vinegar. I love sherry vinegar. Not too much because the rhubarb is tart already. So I don't need a lot of acid to that. I've already added some salt. I'll taste it. It's always important to taste your food, right? Taste, taste, taste. Makes a big difference, huge difference when something's seasoned correctly. Let's check the halibut. Been about, 16 minutes. So 2 things you want to do here. You can baste it so the top doesn't get dry. Also, to really make it cook evenly, not totally necessary, I like to flip it over. Okay? Oh yeah, that looks beautiful, right? And baste it one more time. So how to tell it's done? You can take a thermometer, like a regular meat thermometer, and plug it in there and get up to like,
135-ish.
That works. You can use a cake. This is called a cake test. A lot of chefs and cooks use it in a professional kitchen where they test the meats. And what you do is you go in, and if it goes through easily without any tension, then it's cooked through. I want a little bit of tension. I want this to be cooked medium, because if you cook halibut well done, it's just dry. Even cooking this method, it'll be better, but this kind of like insulates it, cooks it very slowly, and you pull it out at the perfect temperature, and it's mind-blowing. It really is. And also a little bit of pressure like this, I know from experience that this is done. Okay, let's plate up. It's okay if some of that luscious butter and sauce. It's actually a butter sauce on the piece. Beautiful. Halibut, perfectly cooked. Drain some of that butter off, and it's okay if some of the butter gets on the plate, because butter's a good thing. We're gonna put that kind of leaning up against the piece. Rhubarb vinaigrette that does not look like Pepto-Bismol. Look at that. See? Oh, and the rhubarb cuts the richness of the butter and gives the fish a little zap of, flavor. So this is totally a chef move. You do not have to do this. I don't recommend it. Don't try this at home, but this is dehydrated peas. And I just baked them low heat. You can have it dehydrated, that's great, in the oven. And then you just grind them up, and it's just gonna add a nice little beautiful color. Not that I do anything for color. I don't. It's always flavor, then color, or presentation. Next, Maldon salt. I love Maldon salt as a finishing salt. It's going to add some texture, a little crunch against the softness and the subtle fish. And to finish it off, we have some pea tendrils that I got from the garden. I don't have peas yet, but it has some tendrils. And we're just going to put that on a little bit. Not too much. You don't want to make it too much. There you have it. Butter-poached halibut with peas à la Française and rhubarb vinaigrette. Let's give it a try. The halibut, oh God. Moist, delectable. Peas à la Française, First mint, rhubarb. Man. You have to try this. It's not that hard, right? You saw me make the beurre monté. Easy. It's easy. So cook. Forget about it for 18, 20 minutes. If you're doing 4 people, 6 people, just do more butter. Bigger pan. In the oven. Done. And it's so delicious. Bon appetit, everybody.